Hey everybody, welcome back to the chat here. My name is Grady Teske. In this space, we talk a lot about how do we use AI technology and how we make that traditional customer aligned sales process feel so good all over the rails. Again, of these great AI agents that make everything work so fast, so easy, and ultimately are here to connect us and endear us human to human. That's right. Don't forget, the primary job of this tech is to do the crap you don't want to do. It lets you spend time with the people that you want to. And that's what we talk about in this channel. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about one aspect of outreach or cold outreach in particular that I get all the time. I get asked this question all the time. And what is that? What am I being constantly asked? Grady, I know you can do a lot of volume outreach. I know you can drive a lot of business through sales. I also know that it turns off some people. I'm dealing with a partnership question. I'm dealing with adding dealers, distributors, resellers, whatever it is. I don't need a lot of volume. I need highly focused outreach. Great, we got you. Because it's not like the actual rails or the infrastructure of what we're doing with building distribution changes. It's just how we use it. And guess what? Technology has made this a lot easier and more personalized to you. That's right. It all makes it easier and simpler for you to achieve your goals. So today we're going to cover how do you actually use technology and cold outreach, which is a volume-based gain, to help build something that's so fine, so important, like finding 1 to 3 to 10 high quality partnerships every single year for your sales team. So if you're a sales manager or business owner, listen up. That's how we're going to today. So first and foremost, what do we need to do this? Well, we need our ultimate sales tool. We're going to use N8N. First of all, why are we using N8N? N8N is the ultimate platform for creating agentic-based workflows that connect to all the rest of your business process. If you've ever used Zap, or you ever hired a VA, or you've ever had somebody that's been a summer intern, guess what? You're using the human version of N8N. So how do we take this and how do we put this in practice? Well, first and foremost, give mad props to my team, Rising Tides Agency, because they've built the best agent exactly for this, and it's aptly titled Good Fit or Not. Why is that so important? Because when it comes to developing quality, it's all about qualifying, and it's all about niching down to who's a good fit for your business. Whether it's a good fit right now, who can we close this year, or whether it's just a good fit in terms of services and complementary products that they provide. So that's what we're looking at with this agent. It's a real simple tool, and it ultimately comes from a simple solution, which is on the one end, we've got a list, and on the other end, we're making a smaller list. You think you can handle that? I think you got it. All right, so what are we actually doing with this workflow? Well, it's pretty simple. We're using a couple of key stages. We're basically going out and building our initial list using another tool of ours, which is an AI audience building tool. Here, let me go actually show you what we do. We utilize one of these tools like a company domain scraper, and then we use another tool here, which is a sales qualifier tool. This agent, you've seen this all before if you watched my videos. If you haven't, go back and watch this video because the sales qualifier is a great tool. I'm pretty excited. We use it in almost every workflow nowadays, but it particularly leads us to build a Google Sheet. And from this Google Sheet, what we do is we actually look at similar dealer, distributor, partners, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to call them dealers today, right? So many of us work in vertical niches where we've got dealers up and down the channel. And ultimately, we want to find channel partners that are champions, influencers within the industry that will help us get either a product or a service seen to many people. So we're building a sheet based off of existing dealers, distributors, partners we have. That's start one. Then we look at who are similar types of business to them. Let's go really broad. In this current case with this client, we started off with approximately 5,000 distributors and dealers within the European Union. And from that base level, we went broader than what our lookalikes showed us. We went outside of the box and we tried to pull new partners from different industries to see if they would make sense. And what was the first step then? We ran those through and qualified their profile. What do I mean by that? I mean the company's LinkedIn, their web pages, their social content, their blog posts, the news articles about them. We scraped that information and we ran it through the ringer. We looked at what their product sales are. What do they win an award? Who do they sell to? We looked at that information and then we qualify that against the knowledge center that we created for our opportunity. And what does that actually mean? Well, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked. It's really simple. We built a specific prompt that's all about our business, and we start to inform that. What makes sense to work with us? Who do we like to work with? What are the traits of the business? Now, I know a lot of you as business owners are probably like, okay, so you're talking about audience demographics. I'm not talking about that at all. Like, what makes a good partner? What are their payment terms? How frequently do they pay? What other complementary products do they sell? What's their sales model? We build this information into a prompt, and guess what it does? It acts like an employee or an intern in this whole workflow right here. It just goes out and qualifies and finds these types of dealers, distributors across all the markets. So you can almost, without exception, go across your customer bases and look for ideal partners, not volume here. We're talking about quantity and qualifying. So we run this workflow. That's how we get our original list. Let's back up for a second. All right. Again, I'm trying to make a good video here for you all. You think I would have these steps lined up. I didn't. But anyways, that builds our initial Google Sheet. You want proof? Let me go right into the sheet here. We'll talk a little bit about like what the outputs are and what the inputs are. So execute the node. What it does for us is it tells us exactly what's this type of a business. So this company is an import company selling to wholesale and dealers, a bunch of other information. So we get our output. It gives us a lot of information about that. Great. So now we can hand that off to someone and they make the decision, right? No, totally wrong. What we're going to do is actually go back and run that against a simple LLM prompt here. Now this is unique because what we've built with this step here isn't necessarily what we've seen in other workflows that we've done before. You haven't seen my workflows? I mean, I got a bunch of videos on my channel that you should watch. They're pretty good. I'm trying. All right, I'm trying. All right. So what we do is this one's pretty simple. We've got the prompt completely built out. Look to see whether it's a good fit for a lookalike audience based off of these existing sellers that we've got. And we've got exactly the type of fit that we're looking for. As you can see, it's not a very big prompt. And then we also dictate the output format for us. So when we test this step, we run it against our list. In this list, again, we've got about 5,000 different opportunities. You can see here the background information that we saw in the first one. And then, oh, we've got output. What are we doing here? It's not a good fit. Let's move on to the next, right? So this allows us to basically go through and qualify from this original sheet down to a secondary sheet. And in this secondary sheet, that's where our output lives, right? So again, if we take this, that test information that we ran on the first one is repackaged into a format that puts it simply into a Google Sheet, which now we take that Google Sheet and what are we doing with? Tomorrow, we're meeting with the head of distribution for this company and showing them a list of now 100 highly qualified leads that really fit what their ideal partner would look like so that we can start to do direct outreach on them. And now this is focused growth. This isn't the same as the volume-driven outreach that you're thinking about. It's highly qualified. We can take this same information and we can start to build out custom sequences and get more information to either run a sequence directly to the end user, or we can use that information to inform the head of sales of this company and they can make their outreach and do direct. They can start the long process because we know in terms of qualified outreach or these highly valued partners, it's a long business cycle. How many are we planning to add a year? I mean, usually it's single digits for a traditional SMB. It could be as high as multiple double digits, but rarely ever are you looking for a company that's like looking to acquire partners like this in the hundreds. It's highly focused. You can run it on a limited basis. And guess what? We can still use great tools like Lemlist, like Smart Leads to run these campaigns. Now, instead of doing on a massive level, all we're doing is we're going directly in, going into LinkedIn, we build the dealer distribution list. It's really simple. We can take that contact, find them on LinkedIn, push them into Lemlist, although technically your team should do this for you. But it's as simple as pushing them into Lemlist, and then we can add them to a campaign, send a direct outreach message, we can enrich it. Basically, we're off to the horses. But we ran in less than half a day this workflow that qualified down an entire industry of dealer distributor partners. It looked at their socials, it looked at their business profile, it identified their current partners and determined whether or not we're a good fit. So we pulled it down to a list of 100 that we can work at. We're going to enrich that data, and it's probably going to give us about 300 to 500 contacts that we can start to outreach within those businesses. This company's off to the races. Ultimately, we take that 100 list, we package it along with the original 5,000 dealers so that they've got an entire pipeline to look at, but we've got a good informed model to start to help this company hit their objective of landing 1 to 3 new dealer partners each quarter throughout the rest of the year. And that's exactly how we take something that you think is a volume approach, that you think is about acquiring new business, and we turn it into a business building tool that's highly qualified and nurtures the right partners based on a human experience. That's what we do here. We're ultimately always looking at how can we take technology and marketing, putting them together to make sure that you're getting a great, solid, well-documented digital field sales process. We do what everyone's always done since the beginning of business, and we're just doing it at the speed of tomorrow's technology. And you can too. If you enjoy this content, please make sure that you subscribe, like, and most importantly, I don't feel like this channel has enough comments. And what do I mean by that? It's like, I want to know what you think about these videos, where you're getting hung up on. Should we talk more about the technical aspects, or should we talk about the high level application of how it fits into your business. My ultimate focus is taking the work that myself and my team are doing, and we're building on the front lines every single day, bringing it back to you and understanding where we can find value to create content and new workflows directly for you, because that's what it's about. If I can continue to be tested by your ideas and your vision and figure out ways to get it completed, ultimately I'm learning and I feel like I'm the most successful person in the world. So thanks a lot for watching today. I hope that you'll come and join. As I said before, this channel, we're starting to add more videos every single week. We're getting more consistent. Why? Because you're helping us follow our dreams and completely automating traditional models of field selling to create enduring human business relationships on an entirely new digital frontier. Thanks everybody. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.